Joe Coy, friend of the show, is speaking out after his Golden Globes hosting performance on Sunday. Joe spoke to GMA3 about the gig, saying he had a, quote, off night and that it was a tough room. That's kind of what Al said yesterday. He also addressed the moment he threw his writers under the bus after some of his jokes bombed. Take a look.
It's a different style, you know, it's not the same style. So, you know, I kind of went in and did the whole the writers thing, and it's just like, no, we were all in that room together. We just had 10 days to try and write something for this monologue. It was a crash course, and you know, I feel bad, but hey, I gotta still say that I loved what I did.
And when asked about when things started to go bad, Joe said it was his joke about Taylor Swift when it fell flat, where he said the Golden Globes would have fewer camera shots of Taylor than the NFL. The camera then cut to Swift, who didn't react and took a sip from her drink. Okay, Al. So something that we haven't talked to you about, because we talked about this yesterday, and exactly what he said is what you stated yesterday. But you've also been a writer. You wrote for Shaquille O'Neal's show.
Right.
What is it like in that room? And if Shaq did that, I just want to, listen, we all feel bad for Joe Coy. I have thrown writers and producers under the bus when I'm embarrassed because you're on camera. And at least for me, I can only speak for myself. I have been in that position. I felt horrible afterwards, and I'm working on not doing things like that. But what is that like to be a writer in here?
You know, it's so weird because Shaq was so cool about it. Shaq, I always say, is who you want him to be. Like, he's great. You know, I was hoping when I met him, I was like, oh, please don't be a jerk. Shaq's great, but like we would be running through rehearsals, you would know that the joke that you wrote is coming up in the next 2 sentences. We would have a live studio audience because we would shoot down there in Orlando where his rookie home still is. And sometimes it would work, and when it would bomb, Shaq would jokingly be like, who wrote that? You know, but we were all very close. If that was happening and he didn't have that kind of personality, and you knew that you were going to get, you know, yelled at or embarrassed or lambasted in front of your other professional writers, that's humiliating.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking a shot at Joe at all. Joe, if you're watching this, I hope you don't apologize too much. The audience is to blame too. They have to give you something. When you go to a live performance, it's a dance. And Jeff, you have something to say about that.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, me and Al, and I'm like, if you go to a magic show, we got Wayne Hoffman coming up. If you go to a magic show, there's kind of a give and take. Even if you know the trick or you've seen it before, you're not going to blow up the magician, right?
Right.
And that audience, you're there to entertain. They're all entertainers. They're all actors, by the way. Act like you're having a good time. Don't give a new guy the cold shoulder and take a sip. You know, if you got Taylor Swift on your side, you're going to gain some other people. So listen, we've all bombed in our own way. This is like the top of the charts bombing. And I wear it. I still, like, when I think about someone, I'm like, oh. So Joe has got to be feeling terrible right now. I feel like he's a friend of ours.
Yes.
I know him
Shout
through
out
the show,
to Joe.
but yeah, I don't know. I think it is a give and take, like you said.
I agree completely. It's completely a dance, and sometimes I'm solo out there and no one's dancing with me. But the ratings were 50%. I'm not even kidding, right? We've seen it on the show. Yeah. They were 50% higher. So a huge bump since 2020, the highest it's ever been. So good movie year, good TV year. Joe seems to be proud of what he did. I didn't like that he threw his writers under the bus, but guess what? I do exactly the same thing if I'm super honest when I'm flustered.
Could I throw you under the bus?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's the Oscars were 50% more. And the show only got 6 million, and now they got 9 million.
No, it's
you still got it wrong.
50% bump since 2020. Am I correct? See, that's correct.
Are we throwing our producers under the bus?
No. I'm throwing. We do 3 shows here, so Tori screwed it up twice.
No,
so
I didn't. No, I didn't. In 2023,
what was
the
the number? What's in it,
Tori? Besides, let me just say this really quickly before putting a quick bow on it. The best thing about the situation with Joe is, unlike other people that have to depend on a director to put them in something, Joe's got a stand. I know he's got a stand-up special coming. He can address this. He can make it funny and make his platform even bigger.
People will tune in.
Joe, take this as an opportunity. You got this, brother.
And
It's
you
just
are a fantastic comic.
It's all good.
I mean, sold out Madison Square Garden. Who does that?
Yeah, you made it, bro. You're
we love
good.
you. All right, Lindsay Lohan made a surprise appearance at the Mean Girls musical premiere in New York. Lindsay starred in the movie back in 2004, of course, and looked so fetch in this designer gown with cutouts on the side and a bejeweled belt. She also, you guys, gave birth to her son this past July. How is that possible? She reunited on the red carpet with Tina Fey, who wrote and starred, of course, in the original movie and the new one. She She also posed with Tina, Lorne Michaels, and some of the new cast. John Hamm, who plays Coach Carr in the movie, showed up with his new wife, Anna, in coordinating black and pink outfits.
So cute. So cute.
What do we think about Lindsay Lohan's comeback? I mean, she did that, what was it, last year, Netflix Christmas movies.
Yeah, and you loved it.
But you watched?
I loved it.
Yes, all right.
I watched it again this year.
She reminds me a little bit of a wave. She goes up, she goes down, she goes up, she goes down. And since Parent Trap, we've been fans. She's a good actress. And when she did Mean Girls, she was great. Then she partied like crazy in WeHo or West Hollywood, and she was down, and then she was up again. Then she did that weird dance in Greece, remember? Remember that? And then she went down again. Right. So she's up again, and we're proud of her, and we want to see her do well. Bring back the freckles, though.
I think we do now. I think a lot of people had a lot of fun at her expense, making fun of her. There's something weird about this country.
Well, she did a
like,
lot of things.
She did a lot of crappy things. I was her waitress multiple times, and she treated me like poo.
Yeah.
You've told me that off air, and that's
but
not cool.
I will say, I have a lot of empathy for people.
Great word.
But said with such a serious face. She's about 60 minutes saying that.
Well, you don't want me saying the other word.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I have a lot of empathy for people that struggle with substance abuse. I'm sure now that she's clean and sober, she's a whole new Lindsay. And she was young before.
Yeah,
so.
use her wave analogy again. What comes after she's up?
She goes down.
Okay.
What if it's a calm night?
You know what? Then she's calm.
Coming up.
Remember that bombing thing?
Coming up.
I'll do the Taylor Swift.
Mentalist Wayne Hoffman. There he is. Cannot wait to see all his tricks next.